Reno Show. I'm kicking off an incredible laundry transformation. Patricia Lohan joins me to break down how to incorporate feng shui into your outdoor living area. I have a step-by-step DIY guide to revamping any shelves in your home, and I'm revealing a super easy chicken pineapple skewer recipe, perfect for the Reno site. Typical family laundry. It has a huge sink inside, a very small and standard cupboard which limits space underneath it. It has a massive linen press in here as well, and a washer and a dryer. Pretty stock standard for a family laundry. And you can see that this family laundry has had over a decade of wear and tear. The walls are roughed up, the bench top around the sink is stained with rust marks and chemical marks, and the washing machine, you know, the seals on it have gone moldy and mildewy, and I tell you, the dryer, I reckon it might have been one of the original ones ever made. And this is exactly how I'm going to do it. The first thing I'm going to do on this sink side is I'm going to increase the storage capacity. Step one, I'm going to put in a smaller Abbey sink. It is amazing, wait till you see it, as well as some very clever tapware, and specifically designed have fairly fit out inside of the cupboards to make sure that I'm maximising functionality of every piece of storage that I have. Now let's get in and finish off this demo. First things first, let's make sure we have some key elements sorted, like the ventilation. Now to do this, I'm having a vent air bus installed to make sure that any damp, stale and dusty air in this environment that often builds up in the laundry can be extracted from the space. It's time to get the cutting edge team in to start building up the cabinetry. Super pumped about my new higher appliances, and look, big decisions for me when I was choosing them were around the ideas of capacity. So this puppy here has a huge and new capacity of 12 kilos, which with a family my size is quite massive. It also has some great family friendly features, such as the Steam Plus, which means that it is fantastic at minimising and controlling both the bacteria and the allergens that we find throughout our entire home. Not to mention, it has an antibacterial guarantee on that seal. So unlike my old washer, it's not going to get that scum mildew look, which completely grosses me out. And it happened on my last machine really quickly. I know my son is super pumped because his bedroom's next door, and this new machine has a direct drive motor, which means it's not only more efficient, but it's quieter. A 4.5 star Wells water rating as well as efficiency rating. Not to mention it's 16 cycles. So finally, truly, my delicates will truly be treated with the kid gloves they deserve. I'm equally as excited with this new heat pump dryer as well. Not only do we have a lot of washing in our house, we certainly have a lot of drying. And this is bigger than I've ever had actually. This is an 8-kilo dryer. So it's a heat pump dryer, which means that it doesn't over dry your clothes, and it also dries them at a much lower temperature. And so you're not over drying and damaging your clothes. And one of the parts I love, because I do not enjoy ironing, is it actually has a reverse tumble, which really helps with the creasing of your clothes. And to top it off, it comes with 16 options for drying. So I can truly start to dry my clothes the way I want to. The cabinets are in and the machines are in too. It's time to start refitting off the plumbing and the sink to allow the stonemasons to come in and check measure. Now this has to be one of my favourite parts of the laundry thus far, and it is a divine porcelain sink from France. I guess there would be a French way of saying this, but I'm going to say chambord. It is just beautiful. I'm going to undermount this under the stone. So I've had Stone Obsession come in and do a check measure for the stone to make sure that it's going to sit beautiful on the lip of this sink, as well as wrapping around the splash bag. And I picked this one up from Nova. So Nova are traditionally known as a wholesale outlet, but in fact they are the perfect place for renovators to go to as well, because they do also do retail. So I was lucky enough to go to one in my local town, Newcastle, but they do have outlets all around the country. And one of the things I love about them is they have specialised knowledge and advice, and you know how much I believe in that. And they also have a range of products, not just sinks. So they have sinks, door hardware, they have handles, you name it. Jump onto their website and have a look. But this is certainly one that I picked up from there, and I am loving it. Over the last couple of days we have had so many trades in here. Electricians, Advantage Plumbing, we've had the cutting edge joinery team installing these amazing cabinetries. Quite traditional, which I like, but with some super powered practical functional stuff inside from Hefeli, which I will show you really soon. So this means for me, a lot of people would stop here. A lot of people would go, I've got my appliances in. So you've seen the awesome high-air appliances that have gone in. We've got in our sink. We're just waiting on our stone bench top. So a lot of people would go, check, I am done. I can use this laundry. In fact, I was washing and drying in here last night. But for me, there is still so much missing from here. It feels impersonal, it needs some love, it needs some beauty, as well as some extra functionality. So I'm going to turn my attention now to the opposite wall. We have this wall covered. Now let's work out what we can do on this one. Make sure you are watching next week to check out the finished space. Super important when you're renovating to stay healthy and well, to make sure you are a powerhouse. all the way through. And one way of doing that is eating well. So today is all about showing you how you can make amazing, healthy, nutritious, easy meals with one gas burner and one pot. Today, I'm going to be cooking with you charred chicken and pineapple skewers brought to you by the amazing Rosie. Check it out at www.by-rosie.com. Now, these charred chicken and pineapple skewers can be cooked pretty much anywhere. On a barbie, in a griddle pan, or like I always love to do, in a fry pan on a little camp gas stove. So let's get started. The things we're going to be needing for this recipe are 300 grams of chicken thighs chopped into 2 centimetre cubes, 200 grams of chopped pineapple in 2 centimetre cubes, 1 onion, I'm using a red one, 20 grams of mint finely chopped, 1/4 cup of sweet chilli, and some metal skewers or soaked wooden ones for the barbie. So I've had these timber skewers soaking for quite some time. That'll make sure that they don't start to burn once we start to cook. So let's start loading them up. All we need to do is alternate our chicken, our pineapple, and our onion. These pieces are obviously a lot smaller than the 2 centimetre pieces, so you can always put an extra couple on. Okay, our pan is ready. These have been drizzled in the olive oil, so we're going to pop them in. Now the recipe calls for 5 to 7 minutes either side. So if you're really busy on site, you could actually set a timer on your phone, go do something else, and then come back and flip them. Okay, now it is time to turn. Ooh, they are looking good. So let's start to serve them up. I can just imagine these sizzling away on a spring evening after a big day of renovating. Rogue onion on the end there. Okay, make sure we turn off our gas. Serve with a sprinkle of our chopped mint and a side of the sweet chili sauce. There we have it. Char grilled chicken skewers with pineapple from By Rosie. Many of you who know me and know me well know that I am an unbelievable fan of outdoor living spaces, and we have back with us today Patricia from patricialohan.com talking about outdoor spaces.
Hello.
They are so quintessential to our Aussie lifestyle, and realistically, no matter where you're watching this in the world, I'm looking internationally, and they are quintessential to so many lifestyles now, not just the Aussie lifestyle with the Barbie and you know, and for me it's about we were talking earlier actually, we were talking about stagnated flow, and I don't know about, because I know you grew up in Ireland, but for me when I was growing up, the outdoor space literally got used, like the outdoor barbecue area got used once a week on a Saturday, and one of us, my brother or I, would be sent to clean it, because no one used it between Saturdays, and the other one got sent into the bush to find the firewood to light the barbie, because we didn't have gas barbies back then because I'm old. So one of my big things when I'm talking and working with people around setting up their outdoor spaces is that it is a space you live in. Like you live in it, and so you furnish it like you live in it. Like we're looking at my outdoor space here. There's cushions, there's rugs, there's plants, there's books in my outdoor space, because I want people to live in it and not kind of go, oh, I'd love to go out, but I have to clean it, or I'd love to go out, but there's nothing comfy to sit on. So that's from me from a you know, make it as indoors as you can with the elements. But from a feng shui perspective, what are some of the things that you think about, like with your outdoor living spaces?
So when it comes to your outdoor living space, I just like totally resonate with everything you said, like making it feel as comfortable and as enjoyable as possible.
Perfect.
For sure. And then the other thing I would look at is the fact that it is outside, but it's still like an extension of your house. So it's really about like whatever that area is, and each part of your home represents a different part of your life. So for example, I'm not sure how this the floor plan works out in your house, but if your living area was like the extension of your prosperity area, it would be really great to kind of integrate things like gold or things that felt abundant and loads of plants and loads of things like that. Or if it was like the extension of your family area, maybe you wouldn't have a picture of your family, but you could get like a beautiful statue of like a family together, like a unit holding hands or something, just something visual that connects in. So you're really extending out the feng shui out into the outside, into your garden.
Rather than it stopping.
Exactly. So I remember doing a beautiful home, and outside in their garden, she'd like done this beautiful water feature, and in the far corner, it was her love and marriage area. So the water feature was like a couple. It was this beautiful couple, and it was extending out, you know, what they wanted in their life, and to improve that, like their romance area.
So, being a feng shui newbie, a couple of times you've mentioned things like their prosperity space or their love and marriage area or whatever it might be. So, different people in different homes. Are you saying that different areas of the home signify different parts of their life?
So in terms of your home, each part of your home, we think about again back to feng shui is like a person, your house is like a person, and acupuncture, feng shui is acupuncture of your home. So then think about like we have all these organs that are functioning, doing different jobs. And it's exactly the same.
So we have our liver, we have our stomach, we have, you know,
your heart,
all of that,
your lungs. And they all have different jobs, and it's exactly the same. Different parts of your home represent different parts of your life.
Okay.
So every house will have their prosperity area, every house will have a health and well-being area.
So every house will have a set of organs.
Every house will have a set of organs.
And they're in different spots.
And they're in different spots depending on the compass readings. So when it comes to, again, when I talked about feng shui being like the iceberg, and then you've got like the tips, like, you know, make sure that you keep round, like try and have round tables, keep your toilet seat down. And then the next
I like to do that in my house with 3 boys.
And then you have the next level is where you find out where those areas are based on your work. And oftentimes you don't necessarily need a feng shui consultant to figure that one out. You just need a compass, and you can get the general area of what it is. So your family area would be the east part of your home, your prosperity area would be the southeast, and the relationship area is the southwest. They're the areas I get asked about most. Love, money, and health, basically, and family and health. Health is right in the center. So again, when you find those areas, in terms of just, you can try and add things to energize a little bit more. And then when you do the outdoor areas, it really extends out into those spaces.
So it's like magnifying, amplifying, and increasing the reach of the energy of the home in your outdoor spaces.
So like it's all well and good to have this beautiful house all done gorgeous, and then you go outside and it's like everything's broken and falling apart, and the plants are dead,
and there's dog poo everywhere, and there's weeds.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's like it needs to all resonate and be congruent.
Do you know what that just reminded me of? I just got an image that just came into my head, and it'd be like this beautiful castle, like in the middle of Scotland or somewhere, like a gorgeous castle, and the moat around it has crocodiles, like
it's like full of like just like stagnant and dead
disease so it's just like, you know, you might have this amazing feng shui house, and you step outside and it's like buyer beware, you know, beware where you step.
Exactly.
I like it. Well, thank you so much, Patricia. We can't wait to have you back.
Yay.
Now these cupboards here, these are a leftover relic of the old office space. But realistically, so unbelievably practical. You can hide the junk in here. You can display, when they're looking slightly less cluttered than this, you can display a pile of things that you need access to here. But the white melamine, it started to yellow on some of the taped areas. It's definitely showing sometimes with the white board, so this would have been installed, I'm assuming, you know, 10 years ago. The dirt gets into the edge between, you know, the taping and the front surfaces, and it just starts to look a little bit grotty and like it needs some love. So I don't want to rip these out. These are so functional, and it will cost me quite a bit to get this reinstalled. So instead, I'm going to be giving this one a little bit of a makeover, and I think she is going to really love her new ballerina colour. I know, I'm literally going to be transforming these from very mainstream white into a beautiful ballerina pink that's going to offset the dabs of pink that's in that wallpaper just perfectly. Once I've primed it, 2 coats of my top coat. Really important to remember here, it was one of the most mind-blowing moments for me years ago. You can get all these tile and all these laminated paints tinted. So as I mentioned, this is going to be a gorgeous soft pinky apricot, which will be amazing. And in the middle there, I didn't mention, we need to make sure we clean it well. So sand, clean, undercoat, 2 top coats. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it every step of the way, so you can pull off one of these conversions with White Knight at home. Alright, now to transform these cabinets into a beautiful ballerina pink, we're going to need some essential items. So, sanding pad to make sure that we abrade the surface first. Some cleaning tools. Now, I'm a massive fan of making sure that you use a complete system on anything you do. So I'm using the White Knight tile and laminate cleaner to make sure that that surface is free of body oils, grime, gunk, and just everyday residue, which will mean that the system won't stick as well if we don't get rid of it. So this is an essential step. Next one is, the next thing we'll be doing is using the Tile and Laminate Primer. Again, that's a White Knight product, and it will ensure that we get a really high performance and exceptional adhesion with that. And then comes the pretty pink. So this will be with the White Knight Laminate Paint. I've had this one tinted to a beautiful Hearth Ballerina, which is a Taubman's colour. We all know things that we cannot do without, which is a stirring stick. It's absolutely essential that you mix your paints so well. Paintbrush to cut in, tape to make sure that I'm prepping the surface properly. And what I'm actually using on this one is it's a Unipro roller, and it's actually, if you look at the nap there, it's a short nap microfiber roller, which will mean that I won't get that thick stippled effect. I'll more get a smoother effect. Now, important to note here that the primer is a water-based wash-up, but the top coat, the laminate paint, is a solvent-based wash-up. So I do have some mineral terps on hand for any spills, little drips, or any oopsies that I might make. The good news is I am super thrilled with how this has turned out, and the even better news is that the family are happy with the transformation too. Time on the Reno Show, I'm revealing the results of my huge laundry transformation. Naturopath Tammy Guest is back to discuss how to eat to feel your best on the Reno site. I have another plan of the day from the Greenery Sydney, and I break down a DIY for your dresser.